Hello, family. My name is James Trice, and I'm the creator of a podcast called YANA, or You Are Not Alone. You Are Not Alone is a podcast for Black men. It is more than just a podcast. It's a lifeline and a brotherhood. We're here to create a supportive, judgment-free space where Black men can have real, open conversations about what truly matters to us, from family and relationships to community, sports, culture, politics, faith, sex, race, education, and the challenges of everyday life. We dive deep into it all. Whether you're looking for advice, motivation, prayer, or just a comfort of knowing you're not walking this journey alone. YANA is here for you. This is your space to connect, grow, and be heard, because none of us are meant to do life alone. Look for new episodes weekly wherever you get your podcasts. And look for me on Instagram at jbtrice123. Welcome to YANA. Grace and peace, everyone. Welcome to another episode of YANA. You Are Not Alone. It's a podcast for Black men. It's a space for Black men to be heard, to be listened to talk, and to discuss the issues that matter most to us. It's a safe, judgment-free space where men could talk uncensored about the issues that matter most to us. It's a space where we can be real, we can be honest, a space where we realize that we can walk the journey of life together, because we're not meant to do life alone. And so today's guest is Marcus Harcus, a friend of mine. I've been knowing him for a long time. And Marcus, could you introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what you want them to know about you?
Yes, indeed. First of all, thank you for the invitation, Brother James. I have known you for over 20 years. You're one of the most potent people I know. So it's an honor to be here to have this beautiful conversation with you. So, yeah, my name is Marcus Harcus. I'm from North Minneapolis. I'm an organizer. I'm a writer. I'm a retired community organizer. I'm a social entrepreneur. I have a family. And yeah, there's a lot of layers to this onion.
I hear that. Tell the audience what you are most passionate about. What brings you joy and satisfaction?
Well, what brings me joy, a lot of things do. I love music, I love nature, I love good fellowship. For most of my life, I've loved advocating for justice and equity. I love quality time with family. Yeah, I just love being free.
Mm-hmm. Good. So quality time with family, what does that consist of? Talk about that a little bit.
I mean, when they're kids, you play with them. When they're teenagers, you do different things with them, but still try to play with them. I just like breaking bread. I like the simple things, I like seeing my kids eating well. I like seeing them playing. I like seeing them resting well. Yeah. I mean, just yesterday, I took my partner and my baby son and my mom to Minneopa State Park. And we were outside and we enjoyed the waterfall and just grounded in nature, listening to beautiful music.
I hear that. What are you most concerned about right now, personally and societally?
I mean, personally, without getting too personal, I think the thing I care about the most is the wellness of my children, their mental health, their economic security. I want my children to learn how to, set boundaries, while they're young. On a personal level, you said on more like a social level too?
Yeah, I mean, societally, what are you concerned about, right? What do you see now that's happening in the world, and maybe some things happening in your own personal life? What are you most concerned about right now? In this present time that we live in.
Well, I feel like society is in chaos. The United States is in a fascist state. But honestly, I'm not that worried about it all. I do think it's a big problem. I think, human beings are wildly dysfunctional. you know, but I'm not really losing sleep over the state of the world right now. I don't think anybody outside, I just need to focus on my family, like, and
Hmm.
being a good human being. And wherever I go, I'm respectful of the place and the people there. But like in terms of politics and economics, I do think we're living in disastrous times, but I feel like it's always been a disastrous time.
Well, I like to say that, this is just another day in America for Black people. I mean,
Yeah.
for Black people, this is just another day. We've been through worse than
Yeah.
this.
Oh,
Right?
definitely. Definitely.
Uh, there's an African proverb, and I can't remember what area in Africa I heard it from, but it said they thought they buried us, but they didn't realize we were seeds.
Right. Right. Yeah,
Right?
that's powerful.
Right?
Yeah.
And, so I'm not concerned either about the state of the world, and I trust in God and believe that He has everything under control. But let me ask this question: what do you think is the most challenging thing about being a Black man in America, specifically, and why?
I'm doing an interview right now. The most the most challenging thing for a black man in America,
Yes.
just living in the world where that they love black culture, you know, and in terms of entertainment and music and food and stuff, and just but they don't like black people. We live in a very anti-black society, you know, and even a lot of black people suffer with that anti-black bias, probably like 40%. So I think generally everywhere a black man goes in this society, he's either going to be viewed like a threat or somebody who doesn't matter. And so that's tough, generally speaking. I mean, these systems don't work for white people, who don't have wealth and power. So they're definitely even harsher on us in terms of like the government, the way we're treated in all of these systems, the public school system, even going to hospitals, you know. So just living in a society that exalts black entertainers but doesn't respect black people, as intellectual, you know, yeah, it's really it's hard to be, and I don't even like the term minority, but I think being a super minority as a black person in an anti-black society is tough, and that's what makes me think we shouldn't even. Maybe we should be living somewhere else.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a big world. Like we've been here for hundreds of years, but we're also global. So I'm like, man, I think I need to be living in a small black country somewhere.
What would that be? What would you think that we as Black people can go and thrive and feel at home, feel a sense of belonging?
I don't know. It kind of depends on a black person not leaving the country with a colonial white supremacist mentality, because a lot of black people do have that. But I think it all depends on the individual. Me, I don't want to go live on a cruise ship. I mean, but I'm looking at certain places, like smaller population places, like in the Caribbean or in like South America or something, Central America.
Mhm.
I mean, there's places in the U.S. that are fine places to live. I mean, I love Minnesota, the Twin Cities in general, but Yeah, it's nice to go places where, it's mostly Black. But
Where have you been? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, you go.
I was going to say, where have you been outside of the United States that uh, you enjoyed, and you can say to yourself, I can live here. I can do this.
I haven't traveled that far and wide outside the country. I know a lot about the world because I've met people from all over, and like I used to read the CIA World Fact Book back when I was in my late teens. So I know I could tell you about a lot of places, and we got YouTube. But so I've only been to West Africa, and I've only been down south. I mean, I've been to chocolate cities all around the US. But in terms of outside the country, I'm looking at the Caribbean and like maybe the northern part of Central South America.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm
let me
not
ask this
moving.
quick.
I'm probably not moving to any hugely populated place.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But you
Um,
will find me in the Caribbean.
yeah. So what part of the Caribbean would you like to be in? I know that my wife and I, we've been to St. Martin
Yeah.
before, and other places, and we've enjoyed that.
Yeah, the
Um,
Lesser Antilles, the Eastern Caribbean. There's a lot of
okay.
beautiful, beautiful islands. I could name them
Yeah.
all probably, or most of them. Yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah.
Right.
I don't want to give up my destination publicly quite yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but I
So
will
I,
tell you, it's small and it's probably 90% Black on the island.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's beautiful, man.
yeah,
I asked you the question about what do you think is the most challenging thing about being a Black man,
yeah.
um, and what do you think is the solution, and what are you doing? What do you do to address that, or to bring about the solution to the challenges that we as Black men face? And I want to be specific to Black men because this podcast is for Black men,
Yes,
right?
I love that
and
focus.
and right and it's for a reason, right? There's a book I'm reading right now called Black Man Rising by um, uh, you know um, by Dr. White, and he said that in this book he said that America has typecast Black men as America's villains, um, and so that's why I'm doing this, because I want, from our perspective, what do we think the solution is? There's all kinds of people have ideas about what they think the solution is, but I want to hear specifically from us about what do we think the solution is to the challenges that we as Black men face in a country that's rife with anti-Black hate.
I think the only real solution is like internal reparations because
Hmm.
I'm not opposed to demanding, reparations from society because it's old. There's no doubt about it. We could say this 400 years from now, they probably won't pay the debt. But internal reparations are the answer. Like we have to cultivate within ourselves a level of confidence and self-love and self-respect, and so that it doesn't even matter who doesn't like want to see our humanity or who doesn't want to give us opportunities. I think the solution is creating opportunities for ourselves. I have two Black sons, and I just want them to feel I don't want them to feel like they need to get small or get little around
Hmm.
anybody. And I don't want them to be afraid to go anywhere. Like we got to have such confidence that everywhere we go, people are, if they don't like to see us based on appearances, which is stupid, that our level of confidence and freedom will be so strong that they're just going to move out of the way if they don't want to be around us. And that's okay
Hmm.
too. But yeah, just creating our own opportunities. Like you're self-employed. I've been self-employed for quite a while. And that's the solution to going and getting disrespected in the workforce,
Hmm.
because it's terrible working for organizations or entities that don't respect your life, which is the situation most people who are working jobs are in. I mean, and it's not easy to be an entrepreneur if you try, you're probably going to have some failures, but you'll probably have more freedom.
You definitely have more freedom.
Yeah. So I'm like, we gotta cultivate internal liberation. So, and yeah, just have an abundance mindset, I, I hate the racist white gazes and the discriminatory behavior. I hate it, but you know what? Sometimes if you treat those type of people like they don't exist, I mean, their heads might blow up, but that's the best way to deal with them. I mean, check them if they directly disrespect you, but also just treat them like they don't exist. They hate that shit.
They do. They
I
do.
mean, that's the best revenge to treat a racist like they don't matter. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually talking with a brother yesterday, and he was talking about this woman on his job who harasses him on a regular basis and says all kinds of negative things about him on a regular basis, and he was just really upset about this. I mean, he was beside himself. He was upset, and you could feel the stress in his voice as he was talking to me. And I asked him a question. I said, "Well, does this person have authority over you? Can they determine your employment? Can they determine your income, your salary? Do they have any say about your work? Can they demote you? Can they promote you? Do they have any kind of power over you?" And he said, "No." And I said, "So then why are you giving it that much energy?" I said, "This woman doesn't have any authority over you, has no power to dictate how you live and act and interact and move on that job. Why are you giving her that much energy?" And he had to think for himself and said, "I don't know." And what it is the stress of it anyway, right? It's like, why are you messing with me? I'm here
Mm,
on this job. Why are you messing with me? And I had to talk with him and say, bro, you don't give her that energy. Don't give her that power. She has no power to determine how you move around in that job. She can't even hire you. She can't even terminate you. She has no
mm,
power over you. But he was really stressed about it. She really got under him, and I'm
mm.
I'm imagining that is what happens and what is happening to most of us as black people, but then black men in workplaces, man. It is something else. So what you said was it's spot on.
Yeah,
Uh,
we gotta be unafraid and determined to become powerful.
hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the
What is that? What is
solution.
that?
Become
What does that
powerful.
mean? What does that mean to
I'm
become
ready to start
powerful, though?
cussing. It means to be
This is
well.
you could talk uncensored here at this spot. This is a page you could talk
Okay.
uncensored, judgment-free space.
I'm saying, like, when I think about my sons, I have a 14-year-old son. Like, I want him to be articulate, and I want him to be fit, and I want him to, like, not think scarce about possibilities for himself. And I want to challenge them to, yeah, if you can go work a job. I mean, I've worked a lot of jobs, but I want him to think like you can control your own destiny. You can create your own income. You can decide who you're going to be and not let society or even your family tell you who to be. So, yeah, I just want them to, like, think about what it means to be free in every way. How you make your money, how you're living, what type of home. Like, I want them to think you can design and build your own home. You don't. I mean, obviously there's steps to get to that point, but I want you to think you can live in multiple places in the world. Why not? Like, you can live how you want to live. I mean, power is the ability to influence the environment according to our interests. That's what Naim Akbar said. That's a definition.
Yeah.
And so I want my family to feel like we can do whatever we want within reason, that doesn't do harm, and that isn't like extremely excessive. But yeah, if we want to travel to every country on earth, why not?
Why not?
If we want to build 10 houses
Why
before we
not?
die, why not?
Yep. Yep.
If we never
Yeah.
want to work for somebody again, why not? That doesn't mean this stuff's going to be easy, but I think we become powerful when we believe that we deserve what we want, and that we're unafraid to try and to fail and to fail and to fail, but to never stop, trying to live the life that we envision and that we deserve, as
Right.
individuals, as family. So yeah, we should be powerful. I
Yes,
mean,
we
it
should
doesn't
be.
mean we need to have $1 billion. I think that's nasty, but yeah, just being free so we don't have to go into or stay into a disrespectful job market, and that we have mobility. If we live someplace and the neighbors are terrible, we can just leave. If we want to move to the Caribbean, we can do that. I mean, but we also have to have knowledge and skills. That's a part of being powerful, you know. Skills are assets. I mean, we need to, and I'm behind personally. Like, I'm not where I want to be in terms of like my financial literacy, my economic power. It's not there where it needs to be. But yeah, gaining the knowledge, gaining the skills to like be financial wizards. That's part of being powerful. That's what Black men need to do, is become very skilled with money. I mean, a lot of us like nice things, and that's not a problem. You know,
Right.
we like nice things. A lot of us do, and that's good. But we got to learn early. I should have learned a long time ago how to be like a master of money, and to be about self mastery. This is something that I'm just like really wrapping my head around just this year. Like, what does it mean for me to master myself? I'm not there yet, but I want to emphasize this for my kids. Like, master yourself. You can and you should. You'll never be perfect, but what if you could really control your emotions? Not that emotions are bad, but we got to control them. Like, what if you could control your fear? Not that fear is unnatural or is even a bad thing, but like, how can we have control over our like like, let's not be impulsive. Let's not be reckless. Let's like learn how to control our minds so we can think and make better decisions. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of ways to be powerful, but when I think about it lately, I'm like, I need to master myself. Learn how to
Yeah, I
really
think that.
listen to your body, learn how to trust your
Yeah.
instincts,
Yeah.
learn how to really believe in yourself without the need to be a people pleaser or, you know,
Or to
yeah.
feel like you don't have to be validated by someone else.
Yeah, we don't. We don't need
Right.
anybody's approval.
Validated. Right.
We don't
Right.
need any approval to be free or to be
Right.
powerful.
Or to be
Yeah.
powerful. And I think that
Yeah.
starts in the mind.
Of course.
Right. The
Yeah.
Bible says, "As a man thinketh, so is he." That's
Mm.
what the Bible says, right? And
Yeah.
how you think dictates where you go and how you move and how you operate in the world.
Yeah.
If you think defeat, you will be defeated. If you
Right.
think poor, you will be poor, right? But if you think rich, you will be. And not just
Right.
rich in financial possessions and money, material things, because those are fleeting, right?
Hmm.
And they come and go. It's ebbs and flows to this thing. But thinking rich, spiritually rich, and mentally rich, and emotionally rich, like, and thinking that way, your mind, think on those things that are true, that are pure, that's what Philippians 4:8 says. Think on these things, my brother, things that are
That's so beautiful.
pure, that are true, that are lovely, that are whatsoever is admirable, prudent. Think on these things that are
Yeah.
praiseworthy, things that are positive. and you think on those things, I think that's where it starts is in our mind. And if you can control your mind, because then when you could see something that looks like you should be afraid of and say, I'm not afraid of this thing, and
Mm.
you stand strong in it because you have to have it in your mind first. That's where the battle is, I think, right?
Yeah, mindset matters.
Your mindset is big, right? To getting people to getting our own mind in order to think differently than how we think. Let me ask this question, and you said a lot of powerful stuff, and I know we coming to the end. We got about 5 minutes left. What is the most rewarding thing about being a black man?
Well, that's a great question. Well, I would say, and it makes me think there's black people from so many different places in the world, but as like an African American, as a descendant of the enslaved people who are, captured, abducted from Africa and brought over here and built up the West, North America, South America, Central America, and the Caribbean. You know, it's it is just so powerful to come from people who, you know, are some of the most powerful people on earth who are able to survive all of that shit, and still contribute some of the most powerful culture in the world. I mean, if you look at our culture just here in the United States, I mean, all of the contributions to human freedom and justice, all of the culture. I mean, we're fabulous.
Hmm.
I mean, and I think all of the whole human species is pretty decent, but like our culture at its best is just phenomenal, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm very proud. I think it's like it's a privilege to be one of us,
Mhm.
with the ones that have a healthy sense of cultural consciousness, like black people who love themselves are so wonderful.
Yeah. It feels good being around black people who love themselves, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, because
It just
there's
feels
so
good.
much love. Because really, move all the trauma aside, we're very hospitable people. We're very fun. We're very sweet and kind when we're healthy. So
Yeah,
yeah,
even to our own demise at some time,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like the 9 people who were killed in the church in South Carolina, Mother Emanuel Church, and they let that white boy come in, Dylan Roof, and they accepted him in
They prayed
and
with them.
prayed with him, and he killed them.
Yeah.
And that's just a story of our life as black people, I think, in America, is that we're so willing to accept and forgive and to say, hey, let's go, we got you, come on in, we invite you in, you're welcome to sup with us, sit down at our
Mm,
table with us, and dine with us. And so many times, they killed us,
mm,
even with that act of generosity. But we never stop saying we're still willing to let you in. We're still willing to be hospitable to you, to be human to you, to treat you like a human being,
mm,
even when we know that you think we're inferior to you. And that's the beauty, I think, of being a black man in America, man. So
mm. Well, I think with those type of things, there need to be some hard boundaries. Yeah. Then the roof should have got popped.
yeah, well, if he was look, if he was a black man who went into a white church and killed 9 white people, he wouldn't have survived, man.
They drove him. I think they
They
drove him to
certainly
Burger King and gave
they
him like.
certainly they certainly wouldn't have took him to get a burger at Burger King. They certainly wouldn't have done that. That would not have happened.
Oh my
But it's
God.
like, you think about that. They rewarded him for doing that. That was a reward for him because he said he was hungry. That was so much against they have violated a procedure. You have a criminal in your car. You do not make a stop in between from picking him up and headed to the station. Nothing happened with those officers who did that. Not that I heard of. So anyway, we're coming to the
Yeah,
end
that's
here. Let me ask you
twisted.
this one. It is twisted. Well, we live in this anti-black system that is it's it's the anti-black hate is woven in the fabric of America, and
Yeah.
so that's the system we live in. And so we can say it's crazy, and it is, but it's par for the course for those who play golf. Let me ask this last question, as this conversation ends. What final words? What words would you like to leave with brothers, black men who are listening to you right now? What would you say to them in closing? And then, is there a book or a quote or a song that inspires you that you would like to share with us?
Um, a message for black men, I would say, know thyself, love yourself, be true to yourself, and free yourself. Be powerful.
Hmm.
Move around, travel, see the world so you can see yourself better. And there is a quote by Benjamin Mays, if I could find that. It was something that Mahmoud El-Kati used to say a lot. And it's I think he delivered it. I don't know if he delivered it. I know he delivered Martin Luther King's eulogy because he was like a mentor. And they both had said that whoever dies first, we're going to deliver a eulogy.
Hmm.
And I want to find it. If you could give me a moment. I don't know if you edit this at all.
I'll
Low
give you two
aim
seconds.
is sin. Okay. Yeah, it's about the tragedy of life. He
Okay.
says, it must be borne in mind that the tragedy of life does not lie in not reaching your goal. The tragedy lies in having no goal to reach. It
Hmm.
isn't a calamity to die with dreams unfulfilled, but it is a calamity not to dream. It is not a disaster to be unable to capture your ideal, but it is a disaster to have no ideal to capture. It is not a disgrace not to reach the stars, but it is a disgrace to have no stars to reach for. Not failure, but low aim is sin. That's Benjamin E. Mays.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Thank
that's
you,
what I
brother.
would say.
Wow. And on
Think
that note,
big.
brother, thank you, brother, for
Thank you, brother.
being with us. So we're gonna have you on again, and I
Okay.
really appreciate you coming on. And I want to thank our audience. Thank you for joining us again for this episode of Yana. You are not alone, and remember, we're never meant to do life alone. Grace and peace, everyone. Until
Peace and
next time.
love. Thank you.
YANA is here for you. This is your space to connect, grow, and be heard because none of us are meant to do life alone.